What's up?
What's up?
I'm Caitlin.
And I'm Kala, and we're the Friels.
And today's video is gonna be like a New York City Q&A / travel guide around December / some regular places to do and see anytime.
If you end up liking this video, make sure you like and subscribe, and also check out our New York videos.
Yes, and then you can click the playlist for our New York videos right here. Or right here, I don't know. But if you like and subscribe, it just helps get our videos out there in the algorithm and all that, so more people see our videos, and just so we can like keep sharing all the things.
Yep.
But on Instagram, I asked what were some questions you have about New York City. We recently just went in December, and we plan on going back a few more times while my parents are still living in Hawaii. Or Manhattan. Sorry, we're going to Hawaii. Yeah, okay. So the first question was, I have them all written down, and I have a big old list of things to do and see. How many days do you need to see the main spots?
We went for 5 days, and we saw a lot, but it felt like not long enough. I'm sure the minimum you'd want to go is probably 3 days.
Yeah, 3 at least.
Yeah, it takes kind of like a day to get your bearings with transportation and where you're at and where things are. And then also, you know, you can only see so much in 3 days. So I'd say 3 days was the minimum you'd want, and you'd be able to see a good amount of things.
True. You are going to get lost. You're going to miss trains. You're going to think it's going to take a short time to get somewhere, and then it will somehow take longer. So you have to like know that there's going to be a lot of walking and timing to get places, whether if you take a cab or ride the subway or the bus.
Also, one thing to note is that the subways and buses slow down on the weekends. So if you're really looking to pack a lot in, the weekend isn't a great time to do it because everything slows down. Especially on Sundays. Yeah, especially on Sunday. Well, mainly just Sundays, yeah. Yeah. The second question was, did it smell? How would you describe it?
It smelled like pee in certain spots in the subway. And also, when you walk by on trash day, there's garbage on the streets, but I wore a mask most of the time. Honestly, to like mask some of the smells even outside. So those are the two things I like noticed. Ugh.
Some places definitely smell like the trash for sure. And then there's a lot of homeless people, especially around the subway entrances and Times Square. And obviously they have some smell. So it's just, you know, sometimes there's smell, sometimes there isn't, and definitely the pee. Next question, is it pricey, food, attractions, etc.?
Yup.
Especially compared to Utah, New York is a very pricey place. We kind of just splurged and went and did the things that we were recommended to do.
True.
But yeah, generally overall, New York's a pretty expensive place.
Like if you want to go to the top of the Empire State Building, like per person, I think that it costs anywhere between like $30 to $50. I want to say like 40 something. The 9/11 museum was like $25 per person, which I thought wasn't terrible. I know going to the Statue of Liberty is a pretty good price, like because you get to stop. You ride the ferry and you get to stop at Ellis Island and Statue of Liberty. It's expensive. Food's expensive. Broadway shows are expensive.
Very expensive.
So if you are planning to go, I would set aside money for a lot of things. Food, if you want to get souvenirs, if you want to see a Broadway show. Yeah, New York is pricey.
Even the real estate, even the hotels and things like that are expensive.
Yep.
Tips or tricks before going? I would definitely say the Metro card is the biggest tip or trick. And then there's also a couple of apps that are pretty convenient.
Yeah, you can get your Metro card at... So we flew into LaGuardia, and there's signs that will say like transportation to subways, and right before you go out of the doors there is a Metro card station where you purchase a Metro card for $1, and then you select like how many days and how much you want on it. We just selected 7 days for $35. And then we took the bus to the subway, and that's how we did that. And it was super easy. And then there is an app that tells you where the buses and subways like go, and they like will route out the fastest place if you like plug in the coordinates. So
yeah, it'll just map out your trip for you, tell you what line to get on, when to transfer.
Yep. And it will also tell you if there's delays with the subways or buses. And then another one, I think it's like NYC COVID Safe app. I'll just put a picture of what the app looks like. So this is where you can just take a picture of your state ID and your vaccination card, because if you are going to a Broadway show, museum, restaurants, you have to show them your ID along with your vaccination card before you can come into any of the indoor places. And they actually do check it. So it is super strict in New York City. Were masks required in places? Yes. So if you ride the subway, the bus, you'll need a mask. If you're going into a restaurant, you'll need a mask. If you're going in anywhere, you'll need a mask. And they'll tell you to put it on. Most places, we saw a Broadway show and there were people not wearing their mask and they literally almost got kicked out.
During intermission.
So actually, I did see some people without masks on the subway and in some stores that weren't really enforced. So just do whatever you feel is right, I guess. And but yeah, so masks were required in all places. And sometimes I did wear my mask outside when it was like super crowded, just because when you're around that many people, you're like, maybe I should protect myself. So yeah, so just depending on where we were and how crowded it was, I'd wear a mask outside, but yes to masks indoors.
And I believe at restaurants, you just have to wear them in, and when you sit down, you can take them off.
Yeah. Okay, so those were some of the bigger main questions. The next two were just must see, do, and eat, and favorite place to eat at. But we'll cover that when we tell you about all our stops. We're gonna start with food first. So I'll maybe read some and then have Kalal read some. Ralph's Hot Chocolate, surprisingly, is Ralph Lauren's cafe. We thought it was gonna be a small diner. It wasn't. It was like a department store, and one of the entrances had coffee, hot chocolate. It was the best hot chocolate we had while we were there, but we didn't try it everywhere. We had Prince Street Pizza, which is by NYU or Washington Square Arch. It was super good. They're known for their square slices of pizza. Ring Ding Bar is the place that we had like ding dongs but homemade, and they were really good and tons of different flavors to choose from. Milk Bar was in Nordstrom, I think, like a department store, and they had like ice cream and treats, and so we just tried a handful of things and shared. And I'll have maybe Kalal share some.
Number one on my New York restaurants list for food is Al Chevelle. Al Chevelle was voted the world's best cheeseburger, and it definitely lived up to the hype. That was my favorite meal of the trip.
It was so good. It was the best cheeseburger we've both ever had. Our friend Hunter recommended most of these spots, if not all of them. He is just a good friend of ours, and he used to live there, so he gave us a ton of these recommendations, and he did not disappoint.
Another stop we made on our first night actually was the Melt Shop. It's kind of like soul food. They have like chicken sandwiches, burgers, melts, fries and tater tots. It's really heavy food, so just so you know. It is a fast food place, so it's pretty easy to get to, eat, and leave.
It's not like a McDonald's, but like you go in, you order on like screens, and then
fast casual.
Yeah, they'll call your name, and then you can eat at the restaurant or take it to go. So
yeah, a spot that we didn't get to but was recommended for us was called Italy. I believe it's Italian food, but we didn't get there.
Yeah, we didn't try, but it was recommended. We just didn't have a chance. So that's another place I want to try when we go back. Another spot was Liberty Bagel. We went on Saturday at like 10 a.m., which was a huge mistake. If you're gonna go to a breakfast place or bagel place in New York City, I would suggest going early. But yeah, I just had like the rainbow tie-dye bagel with like a fruit cream cheese, but they had tons of different schmears, like tons.
Like Oreo schmear.
and birthday cake. But then they also had like salmon and chives and bacon. Like, it was crazy. They had different flavors of bagel and everything, and I really enjoyed it. I'll go back if we ever pass it. So
it wasn't anything too crazy as far as taste goes.
Yeah, it's just bagels.
It was just a bagel.
And they just had lots of schmears to choose from. So,
but the tie-dye bagels for Instagram.
Yeah, you know, for the pic.
Another place that we went to was Kazunori. It's sushi hand rolls, and it was great. It's kind of pricey, just so you know, but it's kind of an experience as well.
Yeah.
It was a good time to sit there, get some hand rolls, and just chat. Another place that I loved as well, probably my second favorite meal of New York, was Halal Guys. And I think it's Mediterranean food. It's like chicken and rice and pita and things like that. And it was really good.
The line was super long, so it just showed you that they were definitely known or in the city. Another place we went to that was suggested from one of you guys is Junior's for cheesecake, and it was super good. Probably the best cheesecake I had while in New York City.
My third favorite place on the trip was Los Tacos 1.
Loved
they have multiple locations. It's kind of fast casual as well. It's street tacos, and it was amazing. Flavor was great. Kind of expensive for street tacos, but worth it.
Yeah, super good. I really liked it. And then, Claude, you're going to tell us about cookies?
As far as cookies go, Levain's was one of the better ones. I really liked it. It's pretty popular. We even just saw it in a Netflix movie or something last night. But they're good cookies. Yeah,
loved it. They're served warm, which was really good. And then we also went to City Cakes, which I'm not sure really what they were known for, but Hunter told us to go. We got cookies. They were good. I think I liked Levain's more.
I did.
And then a place that we didn't get to go to was Jacob Pickles, and there's also like Mason Pickles, I think. Same owner, 2 different locations, but they're known for their mac and cheese.
One place that we wanted to go to but didn't get the chance to was Cat's Deli. They're known for their pastrami sandwiches. Apparently a sandwich is $30, but they're massive. But we'll go there next time.
Oh, okay. Hey, jeez. There are some other places, like pizza places like Joe's Pizza and some other places that I'll definitely be hitting when we go back. But I am not the foodie. That was Petey Bear. I am not the foodie in the relationship, so I'm happy to go to Chick-fil-A, whatever is easy and fast. But yeah, so those are the food recommendations. And now we're gonna tell you about things that we saw. And I'm gonna try and like tell you the places that are like clustered together. So if you ever go, know that these places are near each other. So we're gonna do our best. This is our first like travel guide, but we just want you guys to like have the best time in New York City. So on our first day, we hit up Bergdorf Goodman. I hope I said that right. It's a department store. They have really cool Christmas windows and like kind of like a winter wonderland on their top floor. They served really weird free hot chocolate. Yeah, it's really expensive. They sell like designer stuff there. They have a restaurant on the top floor that like famous people have been to. We did that. It was cool to experience, but I wouldn't say it was a must do. Saks Light Show, I would say put it on your list if you're going at Christmas time. It's a building that has a light show every 10 minutes. FAO Schwarz, if you have children, I would say you have to go. It's the coolest toy store I've ever seen. They have like a candy shop in there. Every toy you can think of. Rockefeller Tree, I loved it. It might not rock your socks if you're just like, it's a Christmas tree, but for me, I saw it twice and I loved it. It was beautiful, it was huge, it was colorful. I would say you have to put it on your list, and you can even just walk past it and say, looks great, you know? So Radio City Music Halls where the Rockettes play, and my parents went to the Rockettes show and loved it. So if you're there, I would say go to it. It's a kind of expensive show, but Radio City Music Hall is like notorious in certain films, and just, it's cute. And then we took a picture in front of it. Okay. Big candy canes and ornaments are kind of near the Radio City Music Hall, and it is good for photo ops. Christmas photo ops. So if you like to take pictures on your vacations, that would be a place to stop by. You can't really miss it if you're near Radio City Music Hall. They're kind of just, it's hard to miss. They're huge. So those are some photo ops. And those are all near each other. So Kalah's going to tell us about Brooklyn.
In Brooklyn, obviously the Brooklyn Bridge is something to go see. You can actually walk across it. There's good places to take pictures. And also there's like just a nice little area around there you can check out. There's like a
pier.
Pier, a riverfront, things like that to go see. And also right next to that's an area called Dumbo. It's another cute area under a different bridge.
Well, it's not under, it's near the Manhattan Bridge.
Yeah, the Manhattan Bridge. And especially during the Christmas time, it was very cute. There was a little hot chocolate place. There's some cool little areas that you can buy Christmas trees from. They just looked really cool, like a movie. Obviously, it was in the city, and that was kind of new to us, so it was very cool. And then Pier 1 was a cool place to go to.
So that was right under the Brooklyn Bridge. So you can see Pier 1 when you're walking across the bridge. And then it's just easy to get to when you get off the bridge on the Brooklyn side. So.
And photo ops down there, photo ops on the bridge as well.
Everywhere.
And from the bridge, you can actually see the Statue of Liberty off in the distance as well.
And it's a good, when you get like halfway across the bridge walking towards Manhattan, it's really pretty to see like the skyline and just like the Manhattan waterfront. It's just really pretty any time of day. And
near Pier 1, there's also a park, or I guess at Pier 1. So that's pretty cool as well. There's people walking around, people playing with their dogs, chilling on the grass, things like that.
It's called Brooklyn Bridge Park.
Brooklyn Bridge Park, which is another area. And then after that as well, so in Brooklyn is Dyker Heights. And Dyker Heights is known for their Christmas lights. There are a bunch of houses that go all out. I'm talking like over 100 nutcrackers and like Santa Clauses galore, lighting up whole houses, done professionally. It was amazing.
And at the Spata house, there's even like a Christmas throne you can sit in, take pictures on. So
one thing to note for that is you will have to walk a lot for that. Mm-hmm. There are some buses that go out there, but you'll be walking through residential areas to see the lights. So just note that. It's going to take some time.
And weird fact about Dyker Heights is there were hot chocolate trucks like in the neighborhoods. Like business or like food trucks know to drive out to those neighborhoods because there are tons of people walking around. It must be like, I'm sure tourists go as well as like family traditions that might go look at lights every year. But anyways, there were hot cocoa trucks, multiple of them.
And it's a pretty safe area. There was like police guiding traffic, you know, helping people around, making sure that there's no accidents, things like that. So it was an overall great experience.
Yep.
DeFara Pizza is also a place in Brooklyn. We didn't get to go to that. But
and it was... Hunter was the one that told us about it, but we had left after he told us the recommendation, and I think it is near Dyker Heights. So if you're going there for lights, I would maybe go there for dinner after, or lunch after, or whatever, or lunch before or dinner after the lights. So we'll try that place next time, hopefully. But yeah, that is pretty much it for Brooklyn. So the next few things that we're gonna list are probably like Soho or like South Manhattan, Statue of Liberty. So you'll have to get on a ferry around near or around Battery Park. But Battery Park is super cool, it's right on the water. So the Statue of Liberty, I would say, is near there. Washington Square Arch is pretty south. It was super cute. Actually, it was probably one of my favorite parks. There was someone playing the piano in the middle of the park, and there were chessboards, and it's right by NYU. I would say go to it. I really enjoyed that park. 9/11 Museum and Memorial. I would go to that. It is a huge part of our nation's history, and I really enjoyed it. I'm really glad we went. Battery Park I already mentioned. Oh, and then in Soho, a lot of shopping. So if you like to shop, tons of places to shop. And the Au Cheval is in like South Manhattan, Ring Ding Bar, Prince Street Pizza. All those 3 things were down in the lower half of Manhattan near 9/11 Museum or like Washington Square Arch were around there. So those were some of the food places near there.
So this next group of things to see, I believe it's either like Midtown or Lower Manhattan.
Yeah.
But the first thing is obviously Broadway shows on Broadway.
I would say it's Midtown.
Yeah.
It's kind of like right under Central Park.
Yeah.
So, just so you know.
So obviously there's a lot of Broadway shows to see, and Broadway is right next to Times Square. And Times Square is obviously a very popular place to go.
Like shopping, eating, it's like full of like neon signs.
Yeah, big signs, big advertisements. One thing to note though, there's probably going to be a lot of people when you go there.
Yep.
So if you don't like crowds, probably not the best place to go.
And it's cool in the like day or night.
Yeah. And then pretty close to that is Bryant Park. That was in one of our videos as well. There's an ice skating rink during the winter. There's a lot of little shops and restaurants that you can buy food from. And you can also buy clothes and things like that right there. It's a pretty cool little spot. I think a lot of small businesses as well.
I would say Bryant Park is definitely like a must-do on my list. Like, I guess the ice skating is free if you go before 11 a.m. You just have to reserve a spot and pay for the skates. But yeah, I would totally put Bryant Park on my things to do and see during the winter time, when I don't know if they have those shops there all year round, but they were really cute. Yeah. Times Square is just like, that's what like New York City is like. I don't know, if you think of New York City, you think of Times Square. So even if you just like walk past it and see it, you can like check it off your list, and I'm sure you will. But
the Empire State Building, it was a lot cooler than I thought it was to go to the top and look out. We went on an evening where the sky was clear. You could see over to Brooklyn. You could see into New Jersey. You could see all the way up and down Manhattan.
And we went at night, so it was like lit up. So it was like dark but lit up.
One thing that was really cool is you could see a lot of Christmas lights as well.
Yep.
So people had like decorated the top of their buildings, or you could see shops lit up down below, and it was amazing. One thing I forgot in that area is the Harry Potter store. Oh yeah,
it's by the Flatiron Building.
It's by the Flatiron Building, which is also in that area. Flatiron Building is a pretty popular spot for pictures. It's just a weird shaped building.
When we went, it was covered in scaffolding, but it's still a cool building because it's like a triangle, and like Broadway, and I can't remember the other street, but anyway, so it's like a building that's like kind of in the middle of the intersection. Yeah. But if you are a Harry Potter fan, I would say the Harry Potter store is a must do and see. And they also sell like drinks and ice cream and butterbeer, and it was amazing. And if you go, I hope you get a butterbeer. That is like a must do on my list. And the Statue of Liberty we didn't see this time, but we did when we were here last. And I loved it. I wanted to go back, we just didn't have enough time. And we were there for 5 days. So that just tells you how much traveling around the city you do to go see some of these things. And when we go back at different times of the year, I hope to go to like a basketball game or a Yankees game. Yeah. So
or a football game.
Yeah, I forgot about football. One thing that we didn't mention is Central Park, and Central Park is amazing, and it is so different than the city, and there's just so many different spots to like enjoy. So I'm excited to go back and see like the cherry blossoms in the spring and like the leaves changing in the fall. But yeah, there's things that we probably didn't mention just because we didn't do. But I hope that this helps you like know what to do and see in December or around Christmas. But do you want to say like your favorite thing besides Al Chevelle? I'm gonna say the Harry Potter store, and seeing maybe the Rockefeller Tree was like my highlight. For sure. I like the Rockefeller Tree was beautiful, even better in person, and then the Harry Potter store like exceeded my expectations.
I'm gonna say Central Park was my top pick. We didn't even explore everything to it, but we saw a couple different sections of it. There's places where people ride their bikes and jog. There's playgrounds. There's little, there's like that bridge area with a little pond and statues at the bottom where people get horse rides around and things like that. There's some entertainers down there. And then there's some areas where it just seems like you're not in the city.
Yeah.
So that was really cool as well. Central Park is just so diverse. There's even tennis courts in there that people were playing tennis at. There's so much to do there, and I'm sure we didn't do the half of it. I even heard that there's a skating rink in there.
We didn't even
see it. And we pretty much went through a lot of it.
I hope that this video was helpful to maybe plan a future trip. We'll also be sharing New York City at different times of the year when we go back to visit my parents. And I hope that you get to plan a New York City trip in the future. See ya.
Bye.